Ladies and gentlemen, the goose is loose. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Father's Goose, and I'm going to be taking you through my adventures in 8th edition Warhammer 40,000. So the brand new edition of Warhammer 40,000 at the time of recording is pretty much to the hour a week away. It's very, very exciting. Everything I want is pre-ordered. I'm ready for it to go. I've not been into 40k for quite a while. I played a little bit back in 5th. I had one game of 6th. 7th just confused me and blew my mind. It was too rules heavy. I've been playing a bit of Age of Sigmar since then. I decided with 8th edition, all the rules are looking brilliant. The preview stuff's looking great. It looks like a simplified, more accessible rule set. I've got a ton of 40k minis, and I want to crack on and get back into Warhammer 40,000. So I'm going to build a new army, because I've got loads of old minis, but why not? New edition, new army. Let's get it done. So I thought with this video series I would take you through my journey as a very, very amateur hobbyist in how I go about preparing models, choosing units. I'm going to take you through my army step by step as it builds. I'm going to show you my paint scheme, hopefully engage with some of you guys, get some feedback, perhaps improve my painting a little bit. I'm going to bring you with me when I go to events and tournaments. I'm hoping that I'm going to take you with me next week when I go to Warhammer World for day of release, Saturday the 17th, which is going to be dead exciting. We're going to have a look around, see what's going on there. And through this channel, we can enjoy 8th edition together. So I'll give you a little bit of background about who I am, my history in 40k. I did what everybody does from all the people I meet in terms of Warhammer 40,000 and the Games Workshop hobby in general. I played in my early teens. I played for a few years, and then I discovered women and I discovered drink, and I sort of stopped. Now around about 2nd edition, and then I went off to university and I didn't play again. Early on in 5th edition I came back into the game and was very fortunate to find a group of like-minded UK hobbyists that I got games in with. We met through an online forum, and I met some of the greatest guys I know there, some of my best mates, and they've really kept me in the hobby. But I've played on and off, up and down over the years, since 5th, but like I say, not very much in 6th, no games in 7th that I can remember. Someone will correct me on that one. And really I've moved into Age of Sigmar, which I've been playing, again, not very much, the odd game here or there, but I've started to pick up the hobby aspect again. And that's really driven me to want to play more. So this year, with 8th edition coming out, I'm getting in on the ground floor. I'm going to get a load of hobbying in, and you guys are going to come along with me for the journey, hopefully. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I'm building. So the hype is on. I'll give you an idea of what I've pre-ordered, which is probably what most of the rest of you have pre-ordered who are interested in this video. And then I'm going to show you around some of the models that I've already built and I've got ready to go. I was going to wait until 8th edition landed before I decided on what I started to build, but I couldn't help myself, and I got to start collecting box because that's the way to go. So, big drum roll. I've probably put it in the title or the tags for this, so it's not going to be a surprise to anyone. But for this edition, I'm doing Tau. To me, Tau, and to a lesser extent Necrons, never really counted as part of the fluff, the lore, the background. They were never canon for me because I left the game before the Tau race was introduced. And when I came back into the game, Tau were very much present, and they'd sort of appeared in this gap when I hadn't been there, and the aesthetic didn't really appeal to me. Not that I don't love big Japanesey looking robots, but they didn't fit for me in the 40k universe. So to me they've always been sort of a sideline race, nothing particularly interesting. But this time round I wanted to do something really different, both in terms of the army I collect and in terms of the hobby challenge. So what I've done in Age of Sigmar is I've built a relatively large Skaven Pestilence army, which is a complete accident. I wanted to make a really elite Nurgle force, mainly Blight Guard, Blight Kings. But what ended up happening was I bought one unit of Plague Monks, and my very old love of Skaven from years and years ago came back, and I made more and more and more Plague Monks. Those to paint are quite quick and easy, dirty little paint scheme, looks really good, and the dirtier and messier they look, the more nurgly and disgusting and horrible they look. And I thought what I want to do with my new army for 8th edition is challenge myself a bit, challenge myself to do a cleaner, crisper, more detailed paint scheme. It's not something I'm particularly good at, it's not something I've done before, but it's something I'm going to push myself to try and do in the future. So I've picked up Tau. Obviously they've got big robot models, lots of flat surfaces, clean lines and edges, very careful highlights, very careful detailing. I'm not necessarily looking forward to the results of my first attempt, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how this army progresses as I skill up. And once I get to a certain point, I think I'm going to set myself perhaps a target of the quality I want to turn out. And when I hit that target, I'm going to buy myself something a bit bigger, perhaps a Storm Surge, big robot. And if I paint that to a good degree, I might start saving up so that I can put together the nice big Forge World suit. So we've got aims going forwards. But let's see what we're starting with. And I think if you're starting in the GW hobby, whether it be Age of Sigmar or 140,000, these days, if you're going to start an army, you start with a Start Collecting box, because they are the most amazing value. So I nipped into a local GW about a month ago when I'd made my decision that I was going to pick up town. I picked up the Start Collecting box, and I've sort of been juggling other projects, and I've not really pulled the trigger on them until very, very recently. So in the last couple of weeks, I've actually started putting them together. So I'll show you the box. Let's hope nobody threw up. Start Collecting box for the Tau. You get an Ethereal. You get a strike team, so you can either make that or a unit of Fire Warriors. You can build that as a strike team at long range or a short range breacher team. You get 3 crisis suits, so we've got some little robots already, and you get a buttload of drones. So we've got our strike team. I've built and undercoated these already and based them. There was a little bit of an adventure and a story with that, in that for the first time in 10 years worth of on and off hobbying, I got a can of white spray that just misted all over these things. It came out powdery, it could have been the weather conditions, it could have been the particular can, and it ruined them. And so I've spent the last 4 or 5 days soaking these guys in Dettol, bringing them back to a nice clean finish, getting them where I want them to be. What I will do at some point is a tutorial on how I did that, because it's the second time I've stripped models and only the first time it's ever been effective for me. I'm hoping I don't have to do it again for a while, but at some point we'll do a video on it. So we've got the strike team, very much looking forward to using those guys, and we've got a couple of drones to go with those. We've got the lovely crisis suits. Now, I'd equip these guys with burst cannons, so the big Gatling gun things, because I like things that fire a lot of shots. I like to roll a lot of dice, and I just like big Gatling cannons on robots. They look awesome. And I also put flamers on them, because having had a bit of a preview of the rules as things came out, it sounded like flamers were going to be pretty cool. And I thought these would be a nice anti-infantry unit. If they've got burst cannons on them, I'll chuck flamers on them as well. They can fly in, because they fly. They can unleash hell with the flamers and the burst cannons. I've not really built this to min-max or be a competitive list. I'm definitely a fluff gamer. I built it because I thought they looked cool. But then I found out you can have 3 weapons on all of these. So I put rockets on the shoulders. Again, I think they're probably going to turn out to be quite powerful from the rumours going around. But I did them because I was always a big fan of Battletech. Those robots with huge rocket launchers on the shoulders always look really cool, and you get massive range out of them. And then I put what I think is the fusion cannon, the sort of melter weapon type thing, on the shoulder of the final guy, again because it looked kind of cool and kind of futuristic. So we've got those guys going. We've then got the Ethereal, so he's going to be the leader of my force. Nice little model on a flying disc, very much looking forward to using that. And then in the interim, while I was waiting for these guys to soak in Dettol and I was feeling a little bit miserable about how things had gone, I picked up a set of stealth suits as well, because I love these models. I think they're really cool. So we've got a set of stealth suits as well. So that's what I'm starting with. I'm just getting to the point now where I'm ready to start painting in the next couple of days. I think I'm going to go for the Viola set paint scheme, which is the one that's on the front of the box, or something similar. Because I want a set of models that's quite bright and really pops from distance on the table. So I'm going for whites and reds. I'm not quite sure what mix of white versus red, but I'm going to play around with them. I'm treating this first set of models as an experiment. They're definitely going to be used to improve my skill level. They're probably going to turn out a bit rubbish, and if at the end of it none of them are quite what I want, I'll either repaint them or I'll use them at the back of the force as I expand it. But that's the plan for the beginning. So, really good to have you aboard. Hopefully you'll stick with me as this series goes on, and we'll explore the joys of 8th edition together. Next video up, I'm going to do some painting, and the second video after that, we're going to go to Warhammer Worlds for launch day. See you guys then.